This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So another God, was it beautiful yesterday. Went for a long walk and people were talking about it on the street, how beautiful it is in the fall here in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Once the leaves start changing, there's like that nice little crispness in the air. Great time of year.
Have you seen the 7-day forecast for us too?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's going to be gorgeous. Like this is the type of 7-day forecast that you trade up into the first round for. Like this is the perennial all-star future Pro Bowl. 78, 82, 83, 83, 82, 76, 65. Just sunny or partly cloudy every single day. It's going to be amazing.
I hope it's true.
Yeah, hopefully they get it right.
Because once in a while they fall apart on you, you know.
We're gonna have torrential downpours.
Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact, we set up because of exactly what you're talking about. We looked at the forecast. Friday night we're getting together with the old neighbors and friends. On Saturday we're getting together with Andy's family, and on Sunday we're getting together with Alex's family.
What a weekend you got planned.
It's going to be just so beautiful, though. You got to get, man, yesterday was just a gorgeous day.
I heard Tevin's going to sit in the basement all weekend.
Yep.
Exactly.
Hiding from the sun.
Big basement guy on sunny day.
The big basement guy. There you go. Well, there you have it. There's some questions in the news this morning. Is it too early for Halloween decorations? Most Americans say, wait, who cares?
I think there is a too early window.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like probably Labor Day is now you can put them out if you really want to.
Yeah. I mean, and that was 3 weeks ago. Almost.
Yeah, about that. Yeah. And I know my neighbors are big Halloween fans, big Halloween people. Right. They've got the tombstones and like the skeleton out in their yard already. And that's great. I think that's fine. Anything in the summer months, like dedicated summer months. I know technically I think we're still in summer based on like the solstice and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this is basically autumn, everybody.
Yeah.
This is fine. If you want to get spooky and get your decorations out, I think that's allowed.
Yeah, why would anybody care?
I don't know. It's the same thing of a neighbor way down the street had an inflatable snowman up through like March.
Well, there you go.
Like,
you know.
All right, what I know, like at a certain point, it's like, okay, I get it. There's a lot of snow out there. You don't want to go through the hassle of taking it down. We have no snow now. It's warmish. Please stop blowing up this thing every single day. Yeah,
I don't know. We've not. I'm trying to think if Catherine and I we never got carried away with the decorations. I love that stuff though. These people that doll their houses all up, and it's for one of my favorites of all time though. Joe Souchere years ago sent this out, and I saw it. It was hilarious. There was this house that top to bottom, side to side, front to back. It was covered with Christmas lights. I mean, there's statues, there's Christmas lights, there's a sleigh. The thing is just Christmas Central, right? Mm-hmm. And the next door neighbor spelled out a word with an arrow pointing to his highly decorated buddy's house that just said ditto. I thought that was phenomenal. Yeah, Sue sent that out years and years. God, that might have been 30 years ago, for crazy.
God, that's funny.
Yeah, no, Christmas lights are getting out of hand now. Now there's companies that specialize in just setting up Christmas decorations for people that want the huge light shows, and every time you honk your horn, AC/DC plays and the lights flash. So yeah, it's getting out of hand.
I understand that. Watched episode 2 of Tulsa King yesterday. You guys watching that?
I'm not. No.
Nope.
It's a good show.
Okay. Is that the one, Tulsa King? Is that the Jeremy Renner, or is that
Sylvester Stallone?
Okay.
Yeah, Mayor of Kingstown.
Okay, that's the Renner show. Gotcha.
That's the Renner show, and he is really good in that, especially since he almost got murdered last year.
I feel like having like a near-death experience like that probably adds to. It's one of those things where it's like they're like channel something sad for when you need to cry, or like think about like a pet dying or something like that. Now, when he's in a situation, I hear that show gets kind of rugged, where he's maybe at gunpoint or he's on the brink of death. He's able to channel something that probably a lot of other actors can't really tap into because he's experienced it, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I think that a lot of very poor people become really good actors because of that very thing. They've been through hell, and they can stand there and take a punch, I guess. I mean, it's
Where's my Oscar?
Yeah, where the hell is it? Let's go. I was looking at a picture this morning of what's called Devil's Tower.
Yep.
That's what it's called.
Yep.
It looks like it's about 60, 70 stories high. It's big. Have you ever seen this thing?
This is a building?
No, it's a rock formation. How would that have formed that way?
I have no idea, but it
I don't know
looks.
if you can see this. Or not.
It's like a huge.
It's on the front page of the Twin Cities.
Rock
Sorry.
mountain.
Yeah,
I'll call it a rock, I guess. In Wyoming, it looks like.
Oh yeah, this is I knew. I have seen this before. This was like the staple background image on like the Oregon Trail game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 5,000 feet tall.
5,000 feet tall. And then I, of course, scroll down and read, Wisconsin man falls to his death rock climbing in Wyoming. Somebody fell off that sumbitch. Holy God.
Well, here's my thing about that. I'm looking at pictures of this, and it's essentially like straight up.
Yes.
Yep.
It looks pretty smooth.
Yes.
For like the outsides as well. When I think rock climbing, I think like the YMCA where they have the different colored footholds and handholds and stuff like that. This has nothing of the sort.
No.
So I'm not sure how you even get like 5 feet off the ground, let alone 50.
I don't either. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, rock climbing was never in my wheelhouse. I got to be honest with you. I just no thanks.
No, because my question was always, how did you get the rope up on top of whatever rock you're climbing in the first place? Well, if you got it up there, you already climbed it. You don't need to climb it again.
Yeah, calm down.
The best thing that's going to happen is you're not going to fall to your death like this guy.
Well, I can guarantee you one thing: you'll never see Uncle Tommy fell off Devil's Tower.
Nope.
That's all I'm saying. There's no question about it. God, Kath and I were watching another thing. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it's a police investigation show, and it was about this deal that went through. The whole thing got very, very weird and very. People commit crimes like you wouldn't believe, and then everybody goes, "Well, this really happened." Yeah, it really happened. They found 5 people just massacred in this house in Los Angeles, and I mean just shredded.
Mm-hmm.
And the end of episode 2, you know who's under the spotlight?
Who's that?
Johnny Wad. You ever heard of him?
Is that a real person?
He was a porn actor.
Oh,
look at WADD, by the way, when you look it up. Johnny Wad. Oh, by the way, this is a shock of the century. He died in 1988. What did he die of from 1988? He's 44 years old. What did he die of in 88?
Please tell me it wasn't like a WAD overdose or something like that.
Well, you're getting close. Died of AIDS.
Oh.
Can you imagine being a sex worker in the 80s? No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't know if I'd want to be one anyway. It'd be nonstop demand.
Right.
You're not buying that one.
I mean, I don't know where we're going to go with this one.
It'd be just nonstop. The phone just won't stop ringing.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to unplug the line in here. Let me tell you guys.
Exactly. It's just too much.
Somebody lock the door.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll come right back. We'll schmooze. We'll find out what the hell's going on in the world. All the good stuff. Right after this. Beer, food, Vikings, and real life jousting. The only place you can find all these things together is the 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival. And it is the final weekend of the Renaissance Festival, and a special Festival Friday. Yes, open this Friday, just a couple days away, for Ladies and Lords Shopping Day. A discounted admission ticket includes wine, gift bag, discounts from select artisans, and more. It's the final weekend and open this Friday. We're talking Minnesota Renaissance Festival. You haven't been out there. How did they put together all that, those buildings and everything? Look at that. I mean, it's like, holy Hannah. That's amazing. The one I'm reading this, they put up the picture of what's going on. There are a couple of guys jousting, and nobody got stabbed yet. So there you go. Little girl wearing a princess outfit, sticking her tongue out at me. Thank you. Really appreciate that. In any case, try your hand at axe throwing, shooting a crossbow, climb on a rock wall, or test your wits in an escape room. It's also perfect for kids of all ages. Featuring a petting zoo, various rides and games, along with arts and crafts events. Visit renaissancefest.com now for discount tickets, parking passes, and all other information. The 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival. Visit renaissancefest.com today.
When you need someone to listen, A lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert and make you a good meal. There's no question about that. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert. Yeah, because I would like to not die in the bottom of the car falls out. You know what I'm saying? You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert and should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market, the economy. He knows how to plan for your retirement. Do not put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing a financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
It is indeed, ladies and gentlemen. No Instway Baseball Day. That team sucks.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. This team is terrible.
It's terrible. And it's because of the owners. The owners wouldn't spend the money to make it a good. They got some talent, but they just don't have anywhere near enough talent. That's the problem.
Yeah, I was there last night to watch the death march because I am, if nothing else, a definite ambulance chaser when it comes to sports. And yeah, that was it was interesting. I mean, they are, just to put this into context, they were 17 games over 500 on August 17th. They are now 5 games over 500. They're now 2 games out in the wild card because Detroit and Kansas City won. But the context is this. Look at the American League Central standings.
Mm-hmm.
They are, if you look at it, I believe 9 games back in 4th place now.
Oh, God. Jesus. Again, sell the team. If you don't want to support the team and make it a good team, just sell the team to somebody else. Elon Musk should buy the Twins. What do you think?
Well, I don't know where the Twins would be playing necessarily then. He might relocate them to Mars.
Yeah, he could. Ooh, he probably would.
Yeah, he might try. But anyway, that was post game, Carlos Correa talked about a sense of needing a sense of urgency, and it was interesting because he basically said he was asked, is there one? And he said from most guys or a lot of guys. So I think he was alluding to the fact that he doesn't sense the sense of necessary urgency from all of his teammates.
Yeah, there's no, and the amazing thing about that is it's not just sports, that's business. I mean, I've worked with teams in the morning where they're not really into this. Why are we doing this? Unless you're in this together, it's not going to work. So why are we doing this if we're headed off in different directions? It makes no sense.
Yeah, but I mean, now there's 5 games left. They're 2 games back. If you have to talk about lacking a sense of urgency with 5 games left, and you've been together since February, there's bigger problems.
I have a question for you. I mean, they blew us out in the first or second inning, didn't they?
4 runs in the second, but I mean, it's 4 runs. I know. And the Marlins suck. I mean, the fact that you can't score runs, this has been a rotating group of issues. It's been the bullpen, but the bats, if you look, they haven't scored more than 4 runs in a game in more than a week. And quite frankly, the bats, since the slump started, have been, inconsistent at best. And when Correa, so Buxton came back, I think it was on September 13th, and Correa came back on September 14th, and that was supposed to fix problems. Okay, they're back. You know, the lineup now is far more full strength. They might not be as healthy as possible, but at least they're going to help. And they actually haven't hit horribly, but they haven't changed anything.
No, and it all comes down to they have no support. Look, I mean, I got to be honest with you.
Yep.
You start at whatever job. Let's say I started at the Q back in the day, and it's, taken off and doing really, really well. And they don't support it with advertising and appearances and stuff like that, then why would you want to work there? Well, it makes no sense.
That's a great question when it comes to Correa. If they miss the playoffs, and that's looking more and more likely, it's going to be really interesting because this is an all-time collapse. And you're not collapsing in like the old American League West where it might have been super competitive. And yeah, it's a really bad collapse, but you were in first place. The 92 Twins, which I thought still is one of the best Twins teams I've seen coming off the World Series.
Yep.
They crapped the bed from late July on, but that was to win the American League West.
Right.
This is a wild card spot. And this is like, if you look at how it's playing out, I mean, Kansas City, until they beat Washington last night, had lost 7 consecutive games.
God.
Seattle, which can barely run the bases, is half a game behind the Twins.
I don't know what to tell you. I just, thank God the Vikings are showing some life. They weren't supposed to necessarily show a lot of life, but they've done very, very well.
Yep.
Arnold is playing the best I've ever seen him play, and that's got to be because of the coaching. They work together very well, it seems to me. Mm-hmm. But the Twins, I am getting really tired of the Pohlad-owned Twins falling apart every year. It's getting really, really old. They haven't won a damn thing, what now? And what's it been, 30, 35 years? 33 years?
91. Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, come on, fellas. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah. Especially when this time last year, the trajectory was, this is like the Twins are back. We're winning a playoff series. The fans are into it. Like we want more. And then all of a sudden can't watch them on TV. There's not enough money. We're not going to improve things. And so I feel the worst for the fans because this felt like something new. And then it just immediately went back to kind of the same old thing. And now it's collapsing at the end of the year.
See, I'd be honest with you, and I'm telling you the 100% truth. Where I grew up on Plymouth Avenue, if anybody from there got $4 billion, they'd be pissing away every dollar to make sure that team was the best team you've ever seen. It's a whole different way of thinking, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a monumental. I mean, the whole season's just right now a monumental disaster. For all the things that Tevin just talked about, for what's happened since mid-August. And it's funny because when they were 17 games up, they still weren't like in that good of stead with the fans because of the TV, because of the cut payroll. So it's not like there was this great high. They needed this. And they had it, and they have in every way, shape, and form pissed it away.
Mm-hmm. There's no question about it. It's really unfortunate. I love my Minnesota Twins, but my God, it's getting old again. It was old until 87, I'll tell you that.
Do you love them right now?
No, I do not, because they're pissing me off. I can't even, I have literally, this is going to be the first time since I was 19 years old. So what is that? 54 years, 55 years, 54 years. First time in all that time, I will not have gone to one Twins game this year. And I was never drawn to the team. It's like, they're okay.
Right.
But it's really, for me to not go to one Twins game is very weird.
Yep.
But I just get sick of it. I mean, you guys buy the team. What'd they buy the team for? 75 million, something like that?
Was it that much in 84?
Maybe even wasn't even that much.
Yeah.
And now it's worth what, 1.6 billion?
Oh, I'm sure it's worth.
And you're pissing and moaning about money, really? Yeah. You're treating your fans like this over tons of money that you've made? Come on.
I think it might have been. Was it 30 something?
44 million.
44 million.
According to the Star Tribune.
Yeah, drop it a buck.
They bought it for 44 million. What year was that?
1984.
Yeah.
I was 33 years old. Why didn't I buy it? Come on. Actually, I did talk to somebody. Somebody talked to me about partnering up, buying the Twins. We should have done it.
Do you know who bid more but was rejected?
Who?
Donald Trump.
Oh, that's right. I did. That's exactly right.
He tried to get the Twins.
Get out there. I can hear it now. That's wonderful.
Where would he have moved them? That's my question. Jersey?
So you think he for sure would have moved the team?
Oh God, they would have been gone by 19. They wouldn't have won the 87 World Series as the Minnesota Twins.
That would have been tough. So he would have moved them to, let's see, who's in New Jersey? Anybody?
No.
Oh,
no.
So they'd be New Jersey. Yep, they'd be in New Jersey right now. The Newark Twines or something. Who knows?
He would have strong-armed. He would have strong-armed the state into a stadium.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. There's no question about it. And this was what, for 44 million?
Yep. And they're now worth 1.46 billion.
And they won't spend any money on the team.
Not enough money.
They don't have enough money to put a good team on the field after we, supporting that team, made them about $1.5 billion, and they will not support the team. What is that?
I wish I had enough money to answer that question and say, well, here's the explanation, Tom. When it comes to the tax shelters on my baseball team, but I have no clue. It's look, I get the frustration makes perfect sense. The frustration on every level with this team, every level makes sense. But you're right. I mean, it does. It starts with an ownership group that had a short-term problem. They're getting less TV revenue, but it's a short-term problem because the media game is constantly changing, right? Like you're gonna have to figure out how to recoup a large part of that eventually, and part of that's incumbent on you, right? So they looked at a short-term problem and said, let's basically cut our legs out from underneath us on goodwill. Right. And because you're coming off a year that excited people, and people were legitimately excited. Yeah. They won a freaking playoff series. They were excited.
I mean, I was so excited. I spent 3 games with Josh Arnold. I mean, I had to be really excited to go through that. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, but you're probably in a suite with Josh.
I was with Josh. You're always in a suite. There's no question about that.
Tell Josh I really appreciate the call too. I mean, I wouldn't have minded being in that suite.
All right. Matter of fact, I got to talk to him. He's going to be on the show today. As a matter of fact, he was supposed to be on yesterday.
Just say, did you lose Judd's cell phone number, Josh?
Yeah. I will ask him out. First thing I'll ask him today. It'll be wonderful. It'll be absolutely wonderful. I don't know. I suppose I'll get over this. I've gotten over other stuff, but I don't understand. You look at what a community did for you. You bought something for $44 million. It's now worth $1.6 billion. Mm-hmm. Don't you think there'd be a little gratitude for the people? Hey, let's spend some money. The people deserve a good team, and they deserve. First of all, television on a local basis is getting to be pretty much worthless now anyway, isn't it?
As far as
programming. I mean, all the programming now is on
streaming, you mean, and stuff.
Streaming, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a whole different thing. But I mean, that's why sports, it's just, but you know what? Forget forget the goodwill. What I'm saying is you had all this good PR going. That's what puts butts in the seats. That's what gets people to buy concessions at Target Field. That's how you get, 30,000 last night instead of announced crowd of 20,000. That includes tickets sold. That wasn't 20,000, Yeah. So forget the goodwill. I'm talking about just from a PR standpoint. Sometimes when you're that rich, I think you have to, with an eye towards the future and an eye towards the potential revenue sources, you have to take a step back financially to take 3 steps forward.
That's exactly it.
Like what are they going to do now?
Would you want to play on that team if you were a good player? Hell no.
If I'm Correa, I probably went out. That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
But from a fan standpoint, what are they going to do? So they miss the playoffs. It's a huge letdown. The season gets done. What, they fire Rocco? They do something like that. Okay, but what's going to get the fans back? The fans now are defiant. They're like, screw you.
I am. I'll tell you, I'm right there.
I know.
Your shoulder. I haven't even been to a game this year. If you're not going to try, why should I try?
Right, but I mean, you not only love the Twins, you have a decent sized bank account that can benefit them, and now you're not using it on them. That's what I don't understand.
I don't either. It's business. Treat it like a business. You've made $1.5 billion. Treat it like a business. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, or a passion though, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like the problem is they're literally treating it like a hardware store.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Absolutely.
You know, they're like, well, we're not, you know, so and so quit purchasing this, so we are no longer going to carry. You know, that's what I don't understand.
How about this? We'll treat it like a hardware store too, and beat them to death with a hammer. Thank you very much, Ray.
Oh boy, here all week.
I was talking about the spirit, to beat the spirit to death.
I knew what you were saying. I did not for one second think that you were actually going to go, because that would that'd be a lot of work too.
That would not be good. Yeah. It's too much to too much.
Well, and a hammer, that's going to take you for, and you're not going to be able to track people down that much.
What
going to get arrested for
hundreds? A hammer? Come on.
Yeah.
1900.
The way I see that, potentially, it's an assault charge more than, you know, it's a hassle, it's nuisance. Now you got to go to court.
You're right,
sir. You are accused of trying to beat the Minnesota Twins with a hammer.
So they've already been beaten enough this year.
Yeah, exactly right. It just breaks my heart though. It looked like last year they were going to get better, and then they wouldn't spend the money, so you knew they weren't going to get better. But I didn't think they're going to be this bad. That team sucks.
Well, they got off to the bad start.
Yep.
And you had said in spring training that you thought that they weren't good, but then they got hot for months.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, okay, you know, Tom must have been wrong. They're good.
Guess I'm wrong. Yeah.
And then at the deadline, they did nothing to improve themselves. Like it's funny. It's like a baseball crap sandwich. You got the bad start, you got the bad end, but in between you had this is pretty good. And I think that's what gets people. They had a chance to make moves to help themselves on July the 31st.
Yes.
And again, either because of prospect hoarding or because of finances, whatever, you know, I will say this from ownership, the front office, as far as baseball ops go, there is a syndrome of smartest guy in the room.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We know what we're doing. They're the father of your friend as a kid who was a complete moron, but thought that he was smart. And it's like, dude, I can tell you're a moron. You know, I'm not Mr. Smith. My name's Doug. My dad was Mr. Smith. You know, the Twins are like this. It's like, no, what you're doing is fundamentally wrong. And I don't want a baseball front office.
I like it. That works for me. I don't know what to tell you. I guess we'll keep moving, and we'll maybe next year, as they love to say in this town. Now, I have one question before you go.
Yes.
Is it not true, and we could look this up, that Minnesota per capita is one of the wealthiest states in America? We have all this money to spend here, and it seems like, well, that's just a given. We just assume that's the case. We don't have to spend our money on your product. Last I checked, Minnesota rates very high in personal wealth.
Yeah, but fans aren't dumb. And plus, well, here's the thing that offsets that sports wise, aside from the Vikings, Tom, is you are right about the wealth, but it's also not that big a market, and the competition for the sports dollar is huge.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I understand.
So it's not like, well, if we don't go to the Twins, what pro sport are we going to watch? Well, you got the Wild, you got the Wolves, you got the Vikings, you know, like, but the Vikings are the only team that I feel is like immune from that. You know, they would have been bad for 5 years to really lose substantial fan base.
All right, we're going to go be miserable by ourselves, but I appreciate
good talk. I feel better. As Twins talk therapy is what that was.
Twins talk therapy.
You should buy the team.
we will talk to you tomorrow.
You should have bought the team, Tom. You should have bought the team.
I should have bought the team. You know what? I guarantee you one thing. If I bought the team, and I'll put my hands up high enough so they can't see it, but you guys can. I own the Twins, bought my part for $22 million, and it's now worth 1.6. So I'm worth about $800 million.
Yep.
Take that home with you.
I'm guessing you're not doing a podcast with Judd Zulgad right now.
Oh, I might be. I still work with people I like, you know.
I mean,
But Devin and I would be free.
Yeah, you'd be good to go. That has to say, but you two are out. There's no question about it.
All right, gentlemen. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Pally. Thanks a lot. Judd Zulgad, SKOR North, and of course the Twins are just getting worse by the minute.
It's just terrible.
It is. It's terrible. Terrible. South Dakota is wonderful, though. South Dakota is one of the most business-friendly states in the country. There's no better place to settle down and take advantage of those incentives than in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits to what your business can achieve. Sioux Falls, South Dakota was recently ranked the #1 best small city for business and careers by Forbes magazine, the #2 best state business tax climate by the Tax Foundation, and the #5 top state for e-commerce by Nexus. As one of the Midwest fastest growing cities, Sioux Falls has a robust growing job market. No matter where you're at in your career, we have an opportunity waiting for you. Our city's tax-friendly climate, strong workforce, don't go unrecognized. Forbes named Sioux Falls one of the top small cities for business and careers each of the last 15 years. In 2020, Sioux Falls also ranked as the #4 best city for young professionals. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? We rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Now is the perfect time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank our listeners for all your continued support. Yes, do thank you. When Mike started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, they now have hundreds of products, some you may not even know about. For example, the brand new 4-pack dish towels, just $25. 6-pack towel sets, also just $25. And guess what? Bed sheets for as low as $25. Check out their overstock and closeout sale and save up to 80% off select items. You're looking for a good night's sleep like we all are? Take advantage of the classic collection on a variety of MyPillows for as low as $9.88. These amazing offers won't last long, so order now. Just go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Eggert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Marvelous, except for the Twins.
Yeah. Judd's not really been holding back, has he?
No, he's been going after him the way he should. They should be gone after, because that team. I once again, you bought it for $44 million. It's now worth $1.6 billion, and you won't spend the money to make sure you put a good team on the field. I don't understand that.
I feel bad for the players.
Yep, I do too.
It looked like the game, at least from what I saw on social media, it looked like the game was very sparsely attended last night, and it's not their fault. Like all they want to do is be the best they can. And,
Yeah, well, that's exactly what
I guess they could play better baseball, but I mean, what's your motivation? Everybody's crapping all over you. And,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but I have never understood that about human beings, but human beings are like that. No matter how much money you got, it's never enough. Never, ever going to be enough. Elon Musk, I'm sure, at $220 billion. Well, if I could only get to 230, that'd be great. It's never enough with money when people. It's really
That's a fair point. Maybe they should do next season like they did on the movie Major League, where they remember that whole bit, and they tried to have an awesome season just despite the owner and blah, 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 blah. Remember they took the clothes off the owner lady, like they peeled the thing back every time they won a game. And what a great movie that was.
Yeah, it was.
Are you saying you want them to do that with Jim Polat?
That'd be hilarious. Like have him in a bikini, like a shot, and then just take off a piece of it every time they win a game. Just throwing it out there.
I don't know if that'll encourage better or worse play, though.
That's a fair point.
Now, I have a question for you. Does part of this have to do with the fact that the Wilfs moved here and they spend every dollar it takes to put a good team on the field?
Well, I do think that people draw their. I think you can help but draw some comparisons, right?
No question.
And obviously, the Vikings are in a moment right now, but I don't think there's ever been much of a question about the Wilfs spending money. They definitely have always seem to, I'd say what you will about the stadium, the People's Stadium, but I mean, that was to me like the biggest. That thing was such a PR push, and I get it. I'm sure they didn't want to pay for the whole stadium, but to call it the People's Stadium when they were like rolling it out, like, shut up. Can I get the People's Stadium for the weekend so I can start a flag football game with my family or something? Oh, wait, no, I can't. Okay.
Why don't we just call it Khrushchev Stadium if we're going to do that? Nikita Khrushchev Stadium. Get in there, you commie bastards.
I was just kind of funny. It made me think about it.
But you're right. You're absolutely right. It's like, could we just we pay we're one of the third or fourth highest tax states in the United States of America. We pay and pay and pay and pay, and then we get to hear about, it'd be too much to spend on a good Twins team. I don't want to hear that, right?
Yeah, it's a bummer. But what are they, 2 games out now? So the Lynx are playing for their advancement to the semifinals tonight. So
see.
The Lynx, and they painted this morning. We had our reporter Kelsey out live in downtown Minneapolis, where they painted the street right out in front of Target Center with the big Lynx thing. So
I got to ask you a question. Is Kelsey the reporter that wears glasses?
No.
Who's the one the very young looking woman that wears glasses on Channel 5?
Oh, that's weekend reporter. She does some reporting during the week too. Her name's Renee Cooper.
Renee Cooper. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Do you think it's okay to hire a 6-year-old?
She's not as young as she looks.
Jesus,
you can't say that, Chris.
She's not as young as she looks.
I can't say that. Tom just called her a child.
She's
I'm defending her.
She is.
No, she's quite a bit of experience too. She's just blessed with
she's
face
good, but it's like, rockabye baby, okay.
That's just us being old. Like, I feel that way looking around all the time now.
You do now.
Like, I always feel like the old man in the room. And then this is funny. Yesterday, I wanted to ask you guys this.
Okay.
So I was in St. Paul. I went to, you guys know Unreal, the like fancy golf athletics where. So they've got a warehouse in St. Paul, not too far from the TV station. And like, you can go and buy stuff there directly at a retail space. So I went to pick up some pants yesterday, and I was walking down the street, and this youngish kind of dude walks up to me. He's like, I've never seen the dude in my life. He stops and he looks at me. He goes, hey, you can download your Medicare charts and everything from your phone now.
What?
And I looked at him and I'm like, what? And he just kept walking.
What did that mean?
I don't know. I don't know if the guy was like messing with me, calling me old or something. That was the weirdest interaction. I have no idea what the hell he meant.
I don't get it either.
I mean, I assume he's talking crap about Medicare. He's saying I'm old, but I don't know.
You don't look like you're 70.
Maybe he's just trying to spread the good word.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Really though? It was
Try to
so
help you out.
weird. And then I was like, I wonder if he thought he knew me or something. And then
Because you're familiar face. That's
maybe
true.
it's like, but then after I said it, I turned around. I'm like, what? And he didn't say a word. He just kept walking away.
God. Unbelievable.
That sounds like a glitch in the Matrix or something. Like you were not meant to have that interaction, but somehow
correct.
That was forced upon.
Maybe that's what it is. But like, honestly, it's like bugging the crap out of me. Like I have no idea what the guy was.
I might just start throwing out that to people just like on the way out of the building today. Like, hey, you can download your Medicare stuff right to your phone.
Do it to some kids.
Might be kind of a fun thing just to do to somebody on the street, like just to say to them. But I don't.
Good call. I like it.
That's like saying, how about this email?
I know. Like what?
Like what?
Anyway.
All right. We'll get back to work, you pill.
Yeah. I'll try.
Yeah. He goes, yeah.
Hey, Tom, you can download those Medicare charts right on your phone.
What? What'd you say? Medicare?
What's that, you young whippersnapper?
Whippersnapper. What does whippersnapper even mean? I've never understood what. Now, whippersnapper.
What the word origin is on that.
What's that?
I don't know what the word origin is on whippersnapper.
Whippersnapper.
Whippersnapper. All right, you guys do some research on that and then report back on.
Don't blow us off like that. We try to, exit gently, and you're like, oh, I got to go. Shut up.
Yeah, Hannah said she needed something. I got to go.
Oh, yeah, she needs somebody better to work with. That's what she
Oh, snap.
What do you think of that action? Hannah, bring it home.
All right, bye.
Guys, later. Bye. Channel 5's Chris Eggert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation. 952-925-5608. Chris Eggert, one of the best in the business. No question.
Maybe the best in the business.
He might be the best in the business. I think you're absolutely right.
Poll's still out on that, but he's in the running.
I would agree. No question. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a second to talk about my bank. That would be, of course, North American Banking Company. If you own a business or are thinking about starting one, make sure to check out my friends at North American Banking Company. When your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity, maybe solve a problem, all you need to do is turn to their experts because they are locally owned and operated. Loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state. This helps business owners expand with confidence. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You are indeed. Okay, we gotta clean up a few stories here. There's no question about it, because Royce's got a great story this morning in the Minnesota Star Tribune. Oh, Dougie's here. Doug Sprinthal.
I didn't know we were letting him back in the studio.
Yeah, you would
They're
think.
supposed to change the locks, but it must be next week.
Personal attacks. What do you think of that?
Yep.
What are you doing?
Can't hear anything.
You're a disaster.
The mic is on, Doug. Don't worry.
Yeah, just start swearing.
This is not a half-assed operation around here.
There we go.
You're good to
Full
go
ass.
now?
We'll get the full moon out for you.
I need the full moon. There, we're charging that one. We got her all set, ready to go. Royce, article this morning, Minnesota Star Tribune, the Twins, and I did not know this. The Twins are on their way to closing out their worst collapse in their 64 seasons in Minnesota. This could be the biggest collapse in the history of the Minnesota Twins this year. Do you see this coming?
I can't say that I saw it coming, because at one point they had like an 80% chance to make the playoffs.
Yes.
And so this is pretty unprecedented, but I now fully believe they will not recover from this, and next year will be terrible as well.
Oh, God. What is it, Doug? I mean, you
Go Lynx.
well, the Lynx are kicking ass. You're absolutely right.
Just shift gears.
Honestly, they're like the one team in town that delivers year after
Yeah,
year.
they're consistent.
It's crazy how well they'll run an operation. It was what they had the dynasty in the 2010s, like early, like around 2015-ish.
Right.
Maybe had a couple years of maybe, downtrodden basketball, but now they're back and thriving better than ever.
Yeah.
No question. Okay, now another thing. I've asked these two guys already, so I'm asking you. Would you rather be you today or Stuart Porter, 21 years old?
Well, you have me at a disadvantage, so I'm going to pick me.
You're going to pick you?
Yep.
It's a good pick. I'm trying to read this story, but it's hard to read because he's only 21. He was only 21 years old. He fell off of the Devil's Tower climbing.
Oh, I didn't connect the name, but I heard about that.
Now, it doesn't say how far up he was, but the thing is almost a mile tall. You said, right? 5,000 feet.
5,112 feet.
Almost a mile in the air. Now, it didn't say where he was, but you look at that monument. How do you climb up that thing anyway?
Have you ever watched people free climb?
Oh,
Where they
God,
don't
yes.
use ropes. I can't even watch it. It's so
God.
scary.
No, there's no way.
And they hang on with one hand and like take selfies and wave, and then, well, apparently not all of them.
He was from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Stuart Porter, 21, was rappelling the second pitch of El Croco Diablo in Devil's Tower. The second pitch, so that's you're up the first part. And then
Yeah.
there's the second. So he had to have been up a couple thousand feet, you think?
Let's see if we can find a height of the second pitch.
Second pitch, El Croco Diablo. That's what I call you behind your back.
Remember,
Hey, AJ, is El Croco Diablo going to be in today?
That's a great, like, what's it, the luchador wrestlers? That's a great name. For
Oh my God,
one
yeah.
of those, yeah.
And coming to the ring from Parts Unknown.
Parts. I love Parts Unknown.
remember our friend Tom Ryan had that buddy who
Oh,
was the
God.
blind guy that climbed Mount Everest.
Yep.
And at one point, they walk across this crevasse on basically an extension ladder.
Oh.
They say on one side it's like a 2,000-foot drop, and on the left side it's like 9. So if you're gonna fall, go to the left because you'll live longer.
Yeah,
Because it's 9,000 feet.
that's
versus-
true.
so anyway,
You would live longer. You're absolutely right.
And it looks like the
Oh, my
second pitch
God.
is about 130 feet.
So
That's
basically
enough.
12 stories. He
Yeah.
fell 12 stories on a rock. Well, we're sorry for the family. The Porter family is very, very tough to hear. No question about that. But man, just looking at that thing, it's scary
Yep.
looking, just looking at that bad boy.
did you have to climb ropes in gym in grade school?
Louis Burnett was the gym teacher then. Louis Burnett at the time was probably 65 years old.
Okay.
And he goes, boys, I need all of you to do this before we wrap up the gymnasium class or whatever. He went up that rope and hung at the very top. The ceiling's probably 45, 50
Yeah.
feet. He shot up that rope, looped it around, and sat in the loop and just swung down. Okay, that's all you got to do.
Did you young guys have to do that in gym? Because I don't think they do that anymore.
No, I
don't
remember
think
they
so,
set it
no.
up one time just because, like, back in our day, we had to climb a rope.
Oh, God,
and
that's awful.
there was one kid that was able to climb up and
Yeah.
go down. But I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not falling from that.
Yeah, we didn't have the single rope. Like we had it there for like swinging and stuff,
Yeah.
We shifted away from that. But they had like a cargo net, like a rope netting.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we had to climb up that, which hindsight now, probably kind of dangerous. Like fourth graders, like at the top of this thing at the gym, it's like, well, if you let go, either your ankles get snapping from getting trapped or you're just falling.
Yeah, these were just basically 40-foot long ropes. And my school, they had like 5 of them lined up and they'd bring them out. But they did have a protective 1/4-inch mat.
Oh, yes. Yep. I remember
to keep the blood off the floor.
Thank God for that mat.
Yeah.
That mat saved lives.
It did.
I got to tell you one thing about that same gym class. We were doing some lifting of different things, and I've always been, pretty strong guy. So I could lift more than anybody else in the class. Tommy had to pay for that because when the class was over, I get out of the shower, I walk over to my locker, it's empty. I find my clothes in the toilet had been peed on by about 5 different guys.
Oh,
talk about your limp biscuits.
Yeah, exactly right. Because you achieved something, I have to piss all over your clothes. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. The only thing I ever did achieve in high school, by the way. That was the only thing I ever did right.
Most likely to smell like pee.
Yes.
Okay, now we got to have a vote. You 3 get to vote. I don't get to vote.
Okay.
New York Times lists 2 Minneapolis restaurants among its favorites of 2024. Which ones would those be?
I can never remember the name, but it's the Times. It's got to be, one of them has to be that native restaurant that won all the James Beard Awards.
Where was it? Where is it?
It's in the North Loop. It's Native American cuisine, and it's really supposed to be fabulous and fancy. And I can't
be looking it up yet,
it.
you cheater.
I was just trying to find the name for
nice try.
And the other is probably Matt's Bar.
Yeah, Matt's over there. Matt's Burtt. What's that thing called?
Juicy Lucy.
The Juicy Lucy. There you go. Something like that. Okay, I'm going to click on it right now. The 2 restaurants. Well, again, I'm more of a kind of a Murray's man. He's kind of guy. I like steakhouses.
Yeah.
Italian. Got some good Italian restaurants now in town.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Gianni's out in Wayzata is terrific. So we're going to find out.
You're talking about Owamani?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
No. Your mammy. What?
Yeah.
Don't say that.
That's what it sounded like.
Gesundheit.
Okay, the 2 restaurants that were named national accolades continue to pour in for our local restaurants. This time, I've never heard of either one of these. Oro by Nixta. What is Oro by Nixta? Nixta.
Probably a cheese curd joint.
Probably. And Vinai, Vinai, are the 2 that earned coveted spots in the New York Times annual list of 50 best restaurants in America right now. I've never heard of either one of them.
Oh, I didn't know the Aura part was part of Nixta. Nixta is fantastic.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's
Where
over in Northeast off of Broadway and University, I believe.
I'm looking at some pictures of the food. It looks really good.
At Nixta?
Yeah, it's like a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, it's a Mexican restaurant, but it looks really tasty.
And Vinai, what's that? What would that be? Would that be
how do you spell that?
Vinai. See, because once again, that's such a Minnesota thing. Well, it can't be a honky outfit. It's got to be something else.
In a land that's 96% honky.
Yeah, exactly.
Vinai, one of the first pictures is a nice looking steak.
Oh, I'm looking at that picture right now.
It's like it's Hmong cuisine.
Huh.
Yes.
So, like I said, no honky food. Minnesota is so obvious with that kind of bullshit. Do they not realize that's a form of racism to try to suck up to people like that?
Well, this is the New York Times deciding this, right?
Yeah, like I said, they're the worst of them all.
They're always going to pick some. That's why I thought maybe that native place would have made the list. I knew it wouldn't be Manny's. I mean, you can get that's a great steakhouse, but every town has a place like Manny's.
No, that's true. I mean, steakhouses are, I mean,
it's really good, you just spend a lot of money buying a really nice steak, heat it up, and charge quadruple. I mean, that's the secret to a steakhouse, and really big drinks.
For steakhouses, yeah, you're right. Okay, so those what? One was a Mexican restaurant, and one was what?
Hmong restaurant.
A Hmong restaurant.
Yeah, both look really good though.
Food. What was the name of that place downtown Minneapolis? Was on First Avenue. Was it First Avenue North? It would have been on about. Well, you remember where Rosen's Bar and Grill was?
Yeah, that's First and Fifth.
Yeah, what was the name of that Vietnamese restaurant that was in there? It was really, really good. What the hell was it? I can't remember the name of it, but it was Kath and I started going there like 40 years ago. It was fantastic. I mean, the food now in Minneapolis, St. Paul is the best it's ever been. There's no question about that. There were about 3 good. There's Charlie's and there was Murray's and there are a couple of others. But yeah, the restaurants now in Minnesota are phenomenal. No question about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like Spoon and Stable in North Loop is always a good one to go to. And there's always new ones popping up all over the place. Porzana, things like that. So no shortage. That's for certain.
There you have it. So 2 of the best restaurants in America now are those 2 in the state of Minnesota. So that's good to hear. But again, you knew.
Oh, it's not. They're not going to serve tater tish. Tater tish.
I like tater tish. What's wrong with tater tish?
Try saying that 5 times fast.
It sounds like an insult.
That sounds like the next hot food at the state fair next year.
There we go. Tater tish.
Tater tish, hot dish.
All right,
works for me.
Tater tish, hot fish.
We'll sell it, work 10 days out of the year, and just go boating the rest of the time.
Sounds good to me. Doug, I like the way you think.
I know.
I've always thought, I already talked about Hmong food and the fact that it is really good. And what the hell? Matin. That was the name.
Oh, okay.
Matin. Matin. That was the name of the restaurant. I just popped into my head.
Wasn't that across the street from Rosie's?
No, it was on the north side.
It was on the same side. Oh, okay. So it was right up from the fine line. That's right.
Yeah, right by that area there. Exactly. Really, really good. And I will tell you, in my opinion, that the Mexican food in Minnesota is the best it's ever been now. A Mexican food here now is really, really good. So I could see why they would choose these 2.
I worked in South St. Paul for a while, and we would drive up for lunch in the summertime. They had a lot of taco trucks on the west side and stuff, and they were just fabulous food.
No question about it. So we took care of that. Here's what I used to like working at the Q. I could always tell you who won because their food would be on the table, that like welcome area in front of all the studios there. They'd come and put the food on so we could taste the food from the restaurant that was number 1. Whatever happened to that? Boy, man, where's the chow, man?
Only thing I ever ate there was like 3-day-old donuts.
Oh, yeah, there were a lot
towards
of
the end
donuts.
of the Q career.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But no, that's Mexican food, Hmong food's good stuff. No question about it. I just Minnesota's better than it's ever been as far as food is concerned. No question. We'll take a break here. Be right back. Oh, this ought to be good. Doug Sprinthal and Josh Arnold together.
Oh, fabulous.
This ought to be interesting. We shall be right back. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank all our listeners for all your continued support. When Mike started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, they now have hundreds of products, some of you may not even know about. For example, the brand new 4-pack dish towel sets, just $25. 6-pack towel sets, just $25. Bed sheets for as low as $25. Check out their overstock and closeout sale and save up to 80% off select items. You're looking for a good night's sleep? Take advantage of the classic collection on a variety of MyPillows for as low as $9.88. These amazing offers won't last long, so order now. Just go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face.
Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot. Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said, so why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Doug, what's new in your world? We got Josh Arnold on the phone. That's right.
Yes, we sure do. I know.
I completely forgot.
Well,
Josh Arnold.
Well, you know what? I didn't forget. Mr. Arnold, how you doing on this fine Wednesday morning?
I am doing very well. It's just a gorgeous day.
Are you suffering from your twins maybe letting you down a little bit?
Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. My twins have been letting me down for over a month. Very, very upsetting. Very upsetting. And I've already paid for my, I'll say my ticket package already for next year.
Oh,
they got you already, huh?
Got me already in August. And I said, okay, we'll sign up again.
Must have been one heck of a sales pitch, huh?
Well, I love baseball. I love the Twins. It's just like when I was growing up with the Philadelphia Phillies. And at that time when I was growing up outside of Philadelphia in Camden, New Jersey, there were only eight teams in the National League, and the Phillies couldn't get above fifth place for the longest time. And finally, when I was in junior high, they get all the way up to first place. When with the last 10 days in the season and leading the league, they went on a losing streak.
Oh, God.
To lose to the Big Red Machine.
Oh, God, of course.
And that was it. But I still like the Phillies. Then moving out here, 1975, I developed an affinity for the Twins. And just as disappointing.
Yeah. You sure know how to pick them, Josh.
It's a good thing that I've developed a better affinity for tracking companies in the stock market and picking the companies in the stock market. And I think I've got a better average than many ball players have currently. You know, I don't think the Twins have had anybody hitting close to 300. And the one guy that they did for a number of years, they let go.
Miami.
They sent him to the Marlins. The Marlins got rid of him.
Yep.
Sent him to San Diego. And who is the hottest team in baseball over the last month? The San Diego Padres. Because Luis Perez has struck you out once in the last month and a half, and again is on track to win another batting title. And the Padres will be in the playoffs, and the Twins, who have gone, I think, came close to being in first place in the AL Central, are back down at the bottom of the AL Central. Oh, God. So we don't know whether that's who is responsible, but pitching has been abysmal. Hitting, not situational. And we can go on from there. Meantime, the Department of Justice decided they don't like Visa. Visa is a monopoly. You didn't know that they were a monopoly, but they were the monopoly in debit cards.
Okay.
And their monopoly affects everything and garners extra fees for Visa from all the exclusionary agreements that they have signed with banks and other and others to promote their debit cards. They have been garnering big profits for the longest time, not only on their debit cards, but also on their credit cards. Visa, of course, denies this claim, says they are not a monopoly because there are plenty of other players in the marketplace, including MasterCard. And I would say, geez, there are an awful lot of players who are helping in the payment space. But Visa is the leader. And this just is one of those things where they weren't a monopoly earlier this year, but now they're a monopoly. The Justice Department is going after, or has been going after, any company that is big and is dominant in whatever space the Justice Department deems. Google, which has developed a 90% share in the search market, is a monopolist. And they hurt competitors, thinking, okay, yeah, they are dominant. There's a reason that they're dominant. Consumers have decided that they want to use Google search services. Well, I don't know whether they're precluding anybody. They just have a better mousetrap. Yes, Google does pay many companies, including favorite Apple, to be the default search engine. But if customers wanted something else, I'm sure Apple would say, Google, our customers are clamoring for another default search engine. You're out and somebody else is in. But I'll say that's just a matter that if somebody builds a better mousetrap, consumers are going to gravitate towards that better mousetrap. That's just part of the, we'll say, capitalist system. As long as, we'll say, Google is not doing anything to prevent, competitors from coming in. And we can see that in many other, industries across the board. I just think this is a little bit of overreach by the government. It wasn't Visa. Visa is no different today than they were 3 years ago or 8 years ago, and nobody went after them then as a monopolist. It's just now. I kind of wonder about that.
What's amazing about that to me, Josh, is the fact that if you're successful in America now, you're a target. Because there are literally people who think because you're successful, you make everybody else look bad. What are you supposed to do about that?
Be less successful. We want everybody equal.
Exactly. What a ridiculous argument.
I know, Tom, and it's the fault of us baby boomers. It is our fault because growing up, how many? I don't know whether you played Little League baseball or played youth basketball. Was there a winner and a loser?
Oh, yes. Not anymore. Yeah, not anymore, though.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, there it is. Everybody gets a medal. Everybody gets a trophy. I don't recall that when I was growing up. Today, from what I understand, in colleges, unless you're a real screwball and don't hand in any work, everybody gets an A. Like, wait a minute. Does everybody deserve an A? Not really. So you have, if everybody deserves an A, that means that the A is really, maybe the A is really a C. and everybody is just average. What is that in, hold on, now I've got a Garrison Keillor's town, where everybody is above average.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I
Lake
don't really
Wobegon.
think that is so. That's it. Lake Wobegon. Ideal place. Everybody is above average. Not so. You've got, there is always going to be a winner. There's going to be a loser. And if you did not win the race, so to speak, you got to figure out what you need to do to win the race and or to get better. And the same is true in baseball as it is in business. What do you have to do to get better? And there are many companies that outperform other companies, even within the same industry, and that is usually reflected in their stock price. Now, since we're talking about baseball, I'll switch a little to, and we're coming up on the playoffs, and we're also at the start of football season. Can't not talk about sports betting. And the two leaders in sports betting or online sports betting are FanDuel, which is owned by Flutter, an English company, and DraftKings. They are the two leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Today, Flutter, owner of FanDuel, announced some expansion plans into Brazil and Italy, and also a $5 billion share buyback. Their stock today hit an all-time high, jumping up to $246 a share, up about 18 on the day to hit a new high. We'll say competitor. DraftKings has slowly been moving up, and that's finally above $40 a share. Both of these companies, FanDuel and Flutter, do have, together they have about an 80% market share of the online sports betting market.
Man.
That's just the online sports betting market. We're forgetting about the total sports betting market, where they have to compete with the likes of Wynn Resorts, MGM, Caesars Palace, plus all the local, we'll say the local bookies and others. So there's plenty of competition when it comes to sports betting. But online betting, these two companies are the leaders. And depending on which statistics you look at, some days it's DraftKings, some days it's Flutter or FanDuel. Both companies have got to spend extra money to secure customers. They don't really have moats around their business, but they are the leaders. Something to pay attention to, and you're going to see plenty of advertising for both of them, and plenty of bets being made. And with a lot of bets being made, who wants a little taste of those bets? Not Visa, but state and local governments want a taste for them to operate.
Ugh. It's never enough, Josh. But so you're going to be in here.
Well,
You're going to be in studio
I'll be there on Friday.
Looking
we
forward.
can talk about this and more.
We'll do it, Pally. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you Friday.
Bye.
Josh Arnold, ladies and gentlemen. Take a break. Be right back. Kristyn Burtt right after this.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert.
You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to NABanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. What's up, KB?
Okay, so Tevin, I got a note about you last night.
Oh, what happened?
All right.
Somebody's in trouble.
He's not in trouble, but I am gonna bust him a little bit.
Oh, busted.
I got a message that said you told Tevin. Wait, let me read. I can't read without my glasses. Let's be honest.
Let's be honest with one another.
I'm like, let's be honest. You told Tevin to have us watch The Perfect Couple, and we are 5 minutes in, and he's snoring in my ear. I don't think he likes it.
It was a good 5 minutes of the show. I will say that. The people
just airing your business out.
The people that I saw for the first 5 minutes of the show, very, very good.
Very good.
What they did.
No question.
Like Tom said, there are a few that seem like I will hate them the entire show, but we will re-watch the rest of what I missed.
That could be a new film critic role.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us about the opening credits of King Lear right before he passed out.
The last thing
they were in black and white, and
It's what I call eyelid theater. So you were watching eyelid theater last night.
Yep, I made it to right when they were doing some big choreographed dance at the wedding, and then
that is the opening credits. That's not even the story.
Credits.
Unbelievable.
That is literally the opening credits where they're like, whoop, whoop, whoop. They do it in every single one.
Oh, well, I thought that was it.
So you saw 0 of the episodes, so you need to start right
No,
after the dance.
I got to the point where it was like, they're like, oh, it's old money we have. We had to sell off most of it, and they still have this huge, beautiful house. And the person's like, well, you guys are still doing all right. They
literally the first 2 minutes. Literally.
It was a good.
And then he's like, and good night.
Unbelievable.
I thought that was a listener like message to you. So I was like, that's so weird that they. It was okay.
Betrayed.
Yeah.
You are completely betrayed because she's got my digits.
Oh my God. All right. Now that we found out that Tevin is a complete disaster, what else have we got to talk about?
yesterday, I think we need to talk about this because this is such a big deal. Paramount, massive layoffs. Now, this is their second round because they're decreasing their workforce by 15%. So about 2,000 people lost their jobs yesterday.
Oh, God.
And I think it's not just, we always think of it as like, oh, it's the entertainment industry, but this also is impacting CBS News. One of their reporters was let go. They're going to be, after the presidential election, they're going to be closing the Washington bureau and folding it into the New York bureau.
Really?
They're closing the Washington, D.C. News Bureau?
There will still be a Washington, D.C. presence. Don't take it as that, but they do nightly news in Washington, D.C. It is going back to New York City.
God, amazing. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And I think that this is like, this is just like the surface of what's happening too, because yesterday there was news, and I'll tie these two together in my two thoughts. But yesterday at the San Sebastian Film Festival, there was a big rebellion of entertainment reporters because they were told like, hey, we've got Johnny Depp. This is part of his big comeback. He's going to do a round table discussion, which means like you and usually about 6 reporters are able to fire off questions. You get to all hear each other's, the answers. So it all everyone winds up with the same coverage in the end, because you're at the same table. But all of a sudden, everyone was suddenly late. And then they're like, hey, you know what? You're only going to get, now it's going to be 12 reporters at the table. And you're only going to each be able to ask, like only every other one of you is going to be able to ask a question. You're not going to get the full time that you expected. And they finally just said, you know what? We can't do this anymore. We can't do our jobs. If you want us to cover all of this news and promote your films, if you're going to keep on cutting time. In addition to all of this, a lot of red carpets now, celebrities are just doing photos. They're not doing interviews. And we're getting to a point where people are saying no to interviews, no to journalism. You've got AI just around the corner saying, hey, we can write your job for you. You've got Paramount going, we can't sustain our business model. So it usually hits entertainment news first. But what I'm saying is everybody needs to start like opening their eyes, because we're going to get to a point where we're just spoon-fed AI news if we keep on letting all of this happen.
Kristyn, I heard a story that kind of ties into that on the way in this morning. Microsoft is paying to reopen 3 Mile Island, the nuclear plant in eastern Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
The reason is so they can supply enough energy to their data centers in that area that are running AI. They don't want to contribute to greenhouse gases, so they're paying to reopen a nuclear power plant.
Whoa.
I thought they didn't like nuclear power plants either.
Well, I guess they must see it as the lesser of two. Bill didn't call me.
Didn't call you?
Since I moved to Red Wing, it's
so rude.
Out of Dakota County, and he's just been kind of a dick, actually. But anyway, I
Bill
thought it was
Gates
interesting.
A dick. Whoever heard of that?
Yeah, so I just think everyone needs to really start paying attention to what's happening, because the AI is creeping in. And I have to laugh. I mean, I just worked at a conference. I did leadership training for docents. It was for Salesforce for their Dreamforce conference. And the topic was AI. That was the theme. And I was there being like, the reason why they're having you guys here, because they're all the docents and they're telling people where to go and like, just to be that human touch that you don't have. Because obviously everything that they can find in the conference is on an app, but people don't always want to talk to an app, Well, John Mulaney also performed a comedy set at Dreamforce, and he roasted them for a solid hour about all these tech guys ruining life with AI, which I thought, and some of the bits have been published. Someone must have been in attendance and like blabbed it to page 6, but it is pretty funny to read. So I think everybody is feeling like, hey, like AI serves a purpose, but at the same point, it can't be just crushing accurate news. It can't be crushing creativity. It can't be crushing the arts. There has to be a balance between the two of them.
Twice in my life now, the first one's a long time ago with a Moog synthesizer. Have you ever heard your voice saying things you've never said? It's terrifying. It's happened to me twice now. One was in a commercial. There were a couple of lines in commercial that I never said, but it was me saying them. Mm-hmm. And now it happened yet again, and I can't remember where this one was, but it was me talking, but I never said what it said I said. That's a little terrifying.
Well, and Tom Hanks has been fighting it. They're using his image to sell like dental centers and random like prescriptions. And I think by the time you like catch it, you know, and finally like track down who these people are that are doing it, there's another one that pops up, you know. It's like whack-a-mole.
It is indeed. There's no, it is rather terrifying though, to be saying things. You're talking to yourself and that self is saying things that you never said is really uncomfortable. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I've had conversations with a lot of people who are in the entertainment industry, and whether they're behind the scenes, in front of the camera, you know, in my line of work in terms of journalism, I will tell you that the conversations are like, oh, we probably have about 5 years left at best in our job. Or I feel like this is going to go away, or this is going to change. And people are really starting to feel like, how do you pivot? How do you change everything? Because they feel like Hollywood has allowed tech to disrupt the entertainment industry, but it's been detrimental instead of helpful in more ways than one.
It's true. No question. Oh, now to some positive news. Do we have any?
Well, I was just going to say, did you watch Murder in a Small Town last night? Did you catch it?
No, I did not. We watched Tulsa King and Michael Connelly. I don't know if it's an old series or a new series or what it is, but it's him looking at crimes that have been committed, because he's such a great, I mean, how many books has he written? From about 50?
Oh my
God,
gosh.
a lot of books,
It's
but
quite prolific.
there's so many good things on TV right now. But I have to watch. What's it called? Murder in a Small Town?
Murder in a Small Town. Yeah. That's so it's running on Fox, but you can of course catch it starting the next day on Hulu. So you'll be able to watch it there.
Boy, Hulu is grabbing everything now. You can watch all the news channels on Hulu, which, I mean, they just grabbed the whole market.
Well, do you have Hulu Live? You must have Hulu Live.
I don't know what I got.
Literally, Tom is like signed up for everything. So sometimes I'm like, and then he'll be like, I have YouTube Live, but I'm like, but you have Hulu Live. Why do you need YouTube Live?
I don't have YouTube Live anymore.
You don't. Okay, so now you have Hulu Live. It sounds like if you have.
But I should have YouTube Live, because that's where all the promotion comes from now.
Yeah, YouTube is the #1 streaming network.
Yep,
period.
it is. It absolutely
is the number one. It's where people are making the most money too. And it's interesting. They really were smart when TikTok became such a popular social media platform. They started creating YouTube Shorts, and it functions just like TikTok does with the algorithm, and giving you short little morsels of video clips. And I'm telling you, people are doing really well. And people start like hating what's happening over TikTok, they come over to YouTube again. It's like we're full circle. We're back to like 2008 again.
That does make sense though, doesn't it?
It does. You know, it really does. And it, you know, I have friends who will just upload to TikTok and YouTube at the same time, and it's two different audiences, even though it's the same clip, and they're really making a lot of money because of it.
There you have it. So I was trying to think of something else we watched that you recommended. I don't remember, but Tulsa King, obviously we watched last night, because we were kind of busy the first Sunday and Monday night. So we watched it last night. I really like him. I just do. I know there's some people don't care for Sylvester Stallone, but
I think he's a guy's guy. I think that's what it is.
You might be right. It might be a guy.
A lot of women are like, yay, Sylvester Stallone.
Right. No, that's probably true. But I think he's pretty good in it. He does a good job. You know, Tulsa King, I think, is a pretty decent series. There are so many good things now, though. Jesus, there's a lot of good stuff. You can't possibly watch it all.
Well, I was thinking, I'm like, you jump around. Like, are there still series you need to finish that you're just kind of stuck in the middle of? Like, how do you keep track? That's what I want to know. I never understand, because I have to finish something and then like move on to the next one, and you hop around. So how do you keep track of all the stories when you're hopping around?
My father was schizophrenic. Is that your answer?
I don't think so. Because
he can be all over the map, I'll tell you that.
If I leave something for too long, I have to then go back like a couple episodes and remember what I missed or where the storyline is going.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I can compartmentalize all that stuff. Just stick it in different parts of my brain. I'm not trying to do it. I guess I can just do that. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'd never remember like what I was watching and be like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, I have to go
Yeah.
back. Even, Emily in Paris, we had, because of the strikes, we had a good solid like
Mhm.
year and a half since the last season. And when it came back, I'm like, I have to watch the series, the season finale of the prior season in order to understand what I'm getting into for this next season. Cause you're like, where do we leave off?
How is Kathy Bates' new show going to do? She's
Great.
Matlock's sister or something. Is that what she?
Yeah. They just did like, it's a reboot, but they're just like pulling off of like, they're using it as a jumping off point.
Mhm.
And not only are ratings good, it's gotten great reviews.
I want to watch it. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking.
Yeah.
forward to it.
You can find it if you missed it'll be on Paramount Plus because it's a CBS show. So Paramount Plus will also have the replays of it.
Was it Kathy Bates that hobbled? What's his name in the movie?
Yeah.
What the
James
Kathy
Caan.
Bates?
Yeah,
James Caan. It was
yeah.
James Caan. That's exactly right.
Jimmy, if
almost
you're friends with them. Misery.
Yes, Misery.
Yeah, it was
There you go.
Stephen King movie.
But I've always liked Kathy Bates. She's terrific. Had her on the queue a couple of times. Just a really, really nice person too.
She would be fun to have. Like, she's doing a lot of press for Matlock. She would be a fun person to talk to.
Well, let's go.
Didn't she do a season of the Office? Kind of towards
Yes,
the end.
yes. After
The
Michael
owner,
Scott
she was great.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that show so much.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
God, that show's and it's too bad because I like James Spader, but that was not a good idea to try to move in after.
Well, everybody. I mean, Will Ferrell came in for a while.
Yeah, he did.
Elba came in. Like they really tried to make people stick, but the glue really was Steve Carell, and the way he made such a despicable person so human and lovable at the same time in Michael Scott is unbelievable. And I love going back and watching season 1 because Michael Scott was just miserable, and then he found like another layer to him in season 2, and they were writing him as like the lovable loser instead. And I think that made him better.
I thought they got it. I was amazed because we just rewatched it about 9 months ago, how quickly they got the show right. This very second episode was Diversity Day, which you've ever worked in a corporate office. It was hysterical.
Yep.
Hold up the card that said black guy. Who am I? It's like, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
I worked in an office like The Office, and you just go back now and go, it was so politically incorrect.
Yeah.
Like, and they folded. The company folded like right as the Me Too era started, and I'm like, they would not have survived. There is no way.
So they knew. Well, that's good.
I don't know if they knew, but I will tell you that the funny thing was, I'll blab about this because I think it's like hilarious when you look back on it. But our HR person at that company was the CEO's roommate from college. They were buddies.
God.
And I know that they always say like HR isn't your friend, but you couldn't report anything because they were just always going to side with the company no matter what. Because this guy was like, this is my college buddy. He gave me a job and he's the CEO. And it was a women's health site. And the entire board of directors was all men over 65. And I was like, this is a women's health site. Where's the female voice in this? It doesn't make any sense.
I understand, but that's getting. The unfortunate thing is, every time we make a move, it's for the worse, not the better. It just is. Anybody happy about anything? For Christ's sake, that's terrible.
Well, I think that everything needs to be disrupted, and it's like you're starting to see. I look at it, and this sounds crazy because I'm gonna mention Dancing with the Stars, but Dancing with the Stars had Anna Delvey, the scam artist, the one who they did Inventing Anna about. They voted her off in the first week of eliminations, and usually we have criminals on the show, and the criminals last like until midway through the series, but Gen Z has finally kind of latched onto Dancing with the Stars. It's doing better in the ratings because they brought in younger cast members.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that Gen Z is rebelling against like, no, we're not doing criminals. We are not rewarding this woman with, a Mirrorball trophy and the celebrities make more money the longer they stay in the competition. They're like, she's out, she's done. And some of the pros will do like fake romances, what we call showmances with their celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
And another couple is doing it and they're all going, stop it. We know you guys aren't dating. Don't do it. And I'm like, Gen Z, I love them for this. Because like, why do we put up with this BS? Disrupt the system. Do it.
Disrupting the system's good. Could they then be funny or interesting too?
Well, Dancing with the Stars is funny all on its own. It's a bunch of like
Is it? Yeah.
rando celebrities in glitter. I mean,
Oh, it is.
that is, I mean, come on. Where else are you going to see an NFL player, a criminal, and an Oscar nominee all trying to like waltz around a ballroom? That is humor in and of itself. That's why, I mean, it's even if you don't love the show, it's a fun hate watch.
Yeah, because I saw, was it Dwight Howard, like a 7-foot basketball player trying to, and just jacked, trying to like be out and graceful on the dance floor is pretty funny to watch as well.
Yeah,
So,
Danny his sister is like 5'5" and she weighs like 100 pounds soaking wet. So the juxtaposition's hilarious.
I wonder, I would like to meet the guy or gal that sold this to the networks in the original pitch. That had to be they had to be pretty strong.
No doubt.
Well, it's Strictly Come Dancing in the UK. It was a UK show.
Oh, okay.
And it is a very serious ballroom show over there. And then we brought it to the US and it's like a joke.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, that's what wound up happening. Because America, we can't do serious ballroom without, people will get bored.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate. What's nice, we're going to close the show today with people will get bored. That's the last thing they're going to remember.
Well, that's it. You know that from going to the movies when everyone's on their phone. We've got, we've got a attention span of a gnat these days.
Well, I just like how one phone lights up the whole auditorium. That's just wonderful. It's
someone doesn't know how to use their display brightness tab.
No, they do not. Well, get off your phone. You got to hit 2 hours in here. Get the hell off your phone, right?
Give everyone a yonder pouch, and
I like it.
It will. You know what? I bet if movie theaters started doing that, I bet a lot of people would go.
Go back to the movies.
Go back to the movies. Yonder,
Absolutely.
and not every screening has to be one. Be like, this is a yonder pouch screening. You have to lock your phone. If you need to use it, check in with the babysitter. You have to step outside and we'll unlock it for you.
Mm-hmm. It's a great idea.
It is indeed. Works for me. All right, young lady, we will talk to you tomorrow.
All right. See you then.
Thanks very much. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Closing words from you two Hunyucks. They're going to go home and take a nap now.
Go Lynx.
Yeah.
Go Lynx, go Vikings. Down with the Gophers, down with the Twins.
I'm going to throw them under the
bus.
Under the bus.
What's that? Ditto. Is that a good callback? Ditto?
Yeah, ditto's good. Yeah, ditto's good. That works for me. We will talk to you guys tomorrow. Family Show is up next.